Audio Jungle.
A rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that beauty. A rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that beauty. A rich man's world. A rich man's world. Beautiful land, but a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that beauty.
Thinking about it, you got a little bit of an idea of a plan. Just do it. Fuck it. Everybody falls when they learn how to ride a bike. Just take that in life. You're gonna hit the curb, you're gonna scrape a knee, but you gonna do your good shit. Trust me, because I'm a big fuck up. We'll be chilling. They ain't got no music, ain't got none of this. Oh, I gotta put my flying lotus on or something. He said we could turn up and smoke and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Check me out on the cab. YouTube, blah, 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 blah. Yo, how ironic we both wearing our fucking jerseys and shit. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
You see, he's want me this one, right?
I mean, why is it gotta be on me? Why everything's on me?
Sure.
I guess it could be a little bit intimidating.
Yep.
This camera shit could be intimidating if you're not comfortable. Because the first time I did, I was very shaky. I was very like nervous. Once I started drinking, I was like, "Can I drink this?" He's like, "Yeah." I thought, "Oh, bro."
Then it was fine.
Then I was Gucci.
You start opening up.
All right, so
yeah.
So you want to stay right there where you at? So if you back a little bit, you'll be out there.
Okay.
You got a shot.
Okay. Cool. Can I get some ice? Yeah. You know, you the man right now. I don't like how I threw the fucking idea.
Yeah.
It was just a subject. It was like, yo, since you're in town one last time, let's do this. And you're calling me for the times and answers and all kinds of stuff, man. Yo, motherfuckers ain't fucked up, man. Like I've been a ringleader and shit. How you better run my shop? Y'all think I can run this shit?
So you live in New York now?
Yeah, I live in Brooklyn now. Brooklyn,
Okay.
New York. So it's dope. I like the culture there. The hospitality is different.
No, that's true. No, it's a different. It's a different form from. I mean, everyone down here is so friendly and people will speak to you and thank you.
It's like I was telling Oliver earlier. You can't, like say your last name. Mm-hmm. Say your last name was Sean, Mr. Sean.
Right.
You see Mr. So and so up there, or Mr. and Mrs. This sounded disrespect.
Wow.
So me being from South, the first 3 weeks there, I'm meeting with clients in $3 million homes.
Right.
And
offending
Mr.
everybody.
Yeah, offending people. my CMPM was, hey man, you gotta stop saying Mr. and Mrs. Dog.
They don't like that.
They don't like that.
Wow, that's
and
crazy.
there's like, please call me like this dude named Mr. Kenny Wagner.
Okay.
He's a Jewish guy. He lives in, he got different houses in the other countries. So I came visit him. He was like, "Don't call me Mr. Wagner. I'm not your daddy."
You talking about no shit?
Yeah. He's like, "Call me Kenny. Kenny, but you like 40 years old, older than me. This is sign of disrespect. Like call you if I come to you like I know you."
Like right.
You from the South?
Alright. So let's do placement.
Burning down the house.
Yeah, don't burn them.
I ain't burning the house, man. I love this house. Like feed y'all. I show off, bro. I ain't get here, boo.
They come in here.
I'm taking you for dinner,
They
baby.
come in here and spray this bitch down with Lysol.
Yeah, I get that Lysol. Gotta be cool, man. How you be chilling and shit? This your establishment. This your shit. Did I say anything when you came to work and you was all high? I said, yo, he helped us out. Man, I'm high. What the fuck? I said, you supposed to be my assistant. I said, you came all the way from James Island and you are fucking fried. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Man, I'm high, man. You know how it goes, man. I'm like, no, I don't know how it goes because this is still my working hours.
Hey, I remember that conversation. I remember that well.
And then they had the pimp guy want a paragraph down his arm and shit. And that shit wasn't like happening.
Oh.
He changed his idea.
Yeah.
And you just sit back like, I know you about to get this nigga out. This nigga about to ready to fight. He caught an attitude. I was picking at him so hard.
You was, man. Right I thought something was gonna happen. I could feel it.
It was gonna happen. You right there?
Yeah, I can feel it.
If something was gonna happen. I was talking extra shit.
I mean, extra. You was just putting it on.
I'm gonna have on Big Brother's time. The Big Brother come on, I know you fighting with me. Shit.
Ready?
Yeah.
Proper. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. We here on James Island, South Carolina, at the home of Gillie's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, CEO and owners here. Sean, nice to meet you, man.
Thank you.
The world, you already know who Mr. Oliver is. You know, the best tattooed all of South Carolina. Yes, sir. Best tattoo artist ever. I haven't got one yet until I'm ready again.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So
he said you got a space on. You got a space for him.
Oh, I always do.
You gotta get it right after this. Then we gotta do that right after this.
So like people in New York, they was like, man, yes, you got tattoos. You got a tattoo artist? Yeah, of course. Only in South Carolina. So that's how it is. So that's how loyal I am.
God bless you.
So with that, today we're gonna talk about business, investments. We have a foundation story of Oliver, but we don't have a foundation story of where you're from, Sean. So we're gonna start with that. So let the world know, who you are and where you're from.
Don't hurt him too bad.
Okay.
You talk loud. Talk good loud.
Talk not good and loud. Okay. Well, my name is Sean Mendez. I am residing here in beautiful James Island, my home for many, many years. I grew up with the high school here, and I started the start of my story was probably I was 27 years old. Me and my girlfriend at the time, who's my wife now, was pregnant, and I was working in a factory. And the only reason I was working at this manufacturing facility was Keely's brother-in-law told me about the job. It's like, man, they pay benefits and everything. Like, they paid all your benefits. I was like, well, shit, then I'll go ahead and do that.
Right.
And so I was on that job for 2 years, and I hated every
second of it.
Single second.
You preaching to the choir with that shit.
I hated it, but it paid well. And I was trying to do the responsible thing because I had my first child coming.
Right.
And I just, like I said, if you've never, you get up to go to work hating
your job
every step, and driving and dropped off, however, walk in there and just really don't care about anything. And it was just miserable. Well, it was a newspaper article or something I believe my wife had found, and it said Outback Steakhouse was hiring. I didn't know. Now, I've always been business minded. I used to, 15, 16, 17, collect Ink magazine, read about all these concepts, and I remember the issue that focused on the beginning of Outback Steakhouse, and then I read that article and it said how Outback, it was all about food quality. It was like it was the greatest recruitment poster you could make for somebody with a food background. And so I said, maybe I'll apply for the job. So I applied. They were at the end of their employment for that store. It was going to be the store in Mount Pleasant in Charleston, South Carolina. And I went in, I interviewed, and I guess I interviewed well. So they said, well, can you just stay and do the second interview and whatever. So I did that, and I said, all right, give us about an hour, and
About to hire you.
come back.
Right.
And so, my wife picked me up, and went back, got the job, and so that's where I learned. Because I didn't go to culinary school or anything like that. My food background starts with my grandmother, and we'll get to her. I'm sure somewhere in this journey, because she was so important,
Right.
in building
Who you
a
are.
foundation of who I am.
And I didn't know none of this. Enlightening for me.
Brand new.
Sometimes to a fault, but and so got the job at Outback. Met some lifelong friends that I'm still friends with to this day. It was just the company was just, at that time, it's changed with kind of the times. It's not the same Outback that it was when I was there. We were there in like kind of the golden age when everything was good. We were making record sales.
Record sales.
Record sales. They had Outbacks making over $500,000 a month. And I was in the Carolina region. Real good leadership. Steve Yoxheimer, Dennis Hood. Just men placed in my life that I could look at and want to emulate. And be like, I used to say when the JVPs and the RVPs would come to the stores, I get these brand new Mercedes, everybody. They always smiling because all they doing is making money. They're making money. And so I was like, I want to, I'm in here doing this
Saying
thing.
shit too.
But I was with Outback for over 10 years.
Okay.
One job. Like I said, I was there for a long time. My proprietor, who would be the owner of the store. Outback had some kind of structured program where the proprietor, if they decided to make you a partner, is what they call it. If they decided to make you a partner, give you your own store, you would get like 10%. Like if the P&L said this is what all the money is supposed to, boom, 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 this is what we make. If you cut costs and save money where you need to, it makes this check bigger. These guys they're making good money, and we were getting paid well, especially back then. Now if you look back at it, we were all underpaid, but like 90% of my friends that I kept after we left Outback, own restaurants, are doing good things. They've married, had children, and so it's been like this connected family. But if you spend 10 years someplace, you kind of put down roots. But I did that, and so anyway, I get to a point where you've gone as high as you can go. Like the next step is
On your own shit.
running that store, or and trying to hit these numbers, and hopefully they'll make you a partner. Now you have your own Outback.
Wow.
Well, when the recession hit in 2008.
Okay.
When the recession hit, Outback it was like they just started cutting middle management. They were trying to cut costs and get the margins where they needed to be. There were rumblings in the Outback Corporation that the shareholders weren't happy because they felt like Outback should focus on Outback and all of these concepts that they were buying, like Bonefish and Carrabba's. Those were all Outback companies. Outback,
I didn't know that.
Bought those companies and absorbed them. Roy's, Cheeseburgers in Paradise with Jimmy Buffett's little thing. All of that was Outback at that time when we were there.
So you're saying that you became of least importance to that?
Well, yeah, no, because the thing is, when you've worked,
If they
I've been a dishwasher. I've done all the shit work that you do. And I remember my same partner, the partner at the Mount Pleasant store that we were in, his name's Rob Coonan. He's an awesome guy. And I remember something was wrong with the sink in the back. And he's up on the, on the floor, right, doing that, and to me, when, especially at that age, 27, 28, like, I'll do whatever the fuck you need me to do. You know what I mean? Because if the boss can get the fuck on the floor and do that, then you sure as hell can too. So it was like, all right, this dude, he's a real dude. Let's ride. So we did. And I mean, like I said, I met friends that, to this day, just from all the different Outbacks. I mean, I literally worked in every one of them. But it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my thing.
Right.
So Outback was in the rearview mirror. I left. And after I left, kind of bounced around, just trying to find what I needed to do. Now, some of these same Outback friends wanted to open a restaurant, as did I. So we started collaborating, and we ended up opening a restaurant called Grind's Burgers and Brew. And that was that was like 2009.
So, that was a hot time. With that process, right? There's a lot of people in that culture need to know. How do you get in the mindset of getting everybody else on the same page to even invest?
And see, the thing was, the investment was the easy part. We just had to, the family had to believe this is
That's the hard part. That's the hard part.
Right. Well, the family was the spiritus of West Ashley, and I was friends with the brother Jay. I met his brothers through him. Jay was also dating a girl, Jordan, who was an Outbacker as well. And so we ended up opening this joint, and we opened. Reviews, it was wonderful. I mean, the Charleston paper, I think it was Post and Courier. The lady ate the burger and was like in love with it, and I was like, all right. So a lot of my Outback friends came and worked for me. I mean, we was bumping, everything was good, and then I just think I was in a situation where I had 33% of the company. I was the biggest shareholder. But when the rest of the family has the other 66%,
they overpower you.
There's nothing I can do.
You don't.
I mean, I would be working, and I get a phone call. Hey, Mike is on the phone. Who was the older brother? Now his background is he was working for the government or something.
But
now he's a partner.
He's the money.
Well, his mom and dad is the money. His mom and dad was the money. They put their house on it and everything.
Oh shit!
They really invested, and I got $25,000 from my family, and we opened. But within 6 months, we realized that all of us wasn't gonna be able to stay here. We was fighting in the kitchen.
Bitching, yeah.
It was crazy, man. It was absolutely insane.
The gritty.
And all my friends from Outback were working there, so we was all.
Everybody had an opinion.
Listen, it was crazy.
My money in here too, man. My money in here. I got something to say.
It was.
Yeah, that's right.
It was crazy, but I lucked up. I remember it was a Friday night, and it was UFC fights were on, and we were a bar. We were packed. Man, there was people. It was jam packed. I'm standing at the front, and I'm there with Micah, the older brother. And I was like, you know what, man? If we can put this other bullshit aside, we can make some money in this damn.
Get your own shit.
Well, old boy was like, well, I don't have to worry about that too much longer. I said, what? Why not? I'm getting a buyout.
Somebody buying him out.
So I said, you getting a buyout? Yeah, my mom's gonna buy my shares. I said, well, then I want to buy out too. So moms and they was like, well, fuck it, we'll buy both of them.
Explain buyout to people who don't know what it is.
All right, well, I'm a shareholder in the company. So I have 33% of this said company. Now, the good part of that is I get 33% of whatever comes in. The bad part of that is
You get the bullshit.
if a refrigerator breaks, I'm paying 33% of that cost. So
Yeah.
you
I didn't know that.
You in that percentage, and that's the way we're gonna roll. Well, I was looking at it like this. I was like, all right, well, if she's giving him $15, plus $1,000 to get out,
I want to go too.
then that's what I want. So she did. She gave it 15 grand, and I got out. And it stayed open for about another year. It might have not lasted a year after that. But I mean, nobody else. I mean, I was the restaurant person.
What was your age at that time period?
I was probably 29, 30.
Yeah, I would say 30s.
Yeah, probably in my 30s.
Jeez.
That was when I was at Morgan, and I
Yeah.
was 25.
Yeah.
I would come down and shit, turn up and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
I used to do that.
yeah, no, right.
Man.
It was a chill spot. I was sad it didn't work.
So when did the food truck come? Food truck came afterwards.
Okay, so now I can go to this story.
Oh.
But I'm not going
We
to
have a shot.
I'm
We
not
have a shot.
going
For
to.
your
What shot?
For your accomplishments thus far. It was pretty impressive, bro. And we can have a shot the same brown that we played. Don't keep it down.
Yeah.
Amen. Look at God. We'll keep that for the next time until I decide on what it's inspiring and shit. You know what I'm saying? Ooh.
Now I will say this. I got to work in the morning. But anyway,
What?
but I'm just telling you. I'm gonna get turned up, but I ain't gonna get turned.
We enjoying the fruits of our labor.
No, I am. Trust me, believe me, I am. So,
I didn't have to twist your arm or none of this idea.
where
Yeah.
was I? No, I love to talk.
Food truck.
Food truck. I said where the food truck was. When did the food truck
Okay,
came?
so after grinds, I just kind of hung out. I was living out there at my mom's house with my wife and kids. We had a complete house over here on James Island, but I mean, you're living on Seabrook Island, man. The beach is right there.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was like, we was out there living. But you can only do that for so long.
Then it gets old.
She would have dinner parties, and I would cater those. And so it was one day, my stepfather asked me. He said, "Do you still want to do the food thing?"
Ooh.
And so I said,
I know the story because he threw it at me when I wanted to be a tattoo shop owner.
Yeah.
and I said, well, I mean, yeah. Now I was hesitant because I did feel bad. I honestly felt bad with the $25,000 that they gave me to start grinds. I got 15 back, so they did get
to get
they
something.
did get the money. If I would have stayed
get
in it
nothing.
until it crashed, we wouldn't have got a damn thing.
Right.
So I said, yeah, and so we ended up buying a food truck. We ended up buying the food truck, and me and my wife came up with this concept, Roadside Seafood. My dad, who passed away, it's been almost 15 years now. But he was from Rhode Island, Portuguese.
From New York, Rhode Island, New York?
No, he was from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It's a little further up past New York.
Gotcha.
But the state of Rhode Island. To my family.
Right.
My cousin Michelle and my Aunt Sandy and Uncle Ernie and it's my family. That's their blood courses through my veins. And so you go up there in the summers, clam shacks. Man, talk about eat. You can tell I eat a little bit of food.
Yeah.
I
I don't miss lunch. I don't miss lunch. But it was the hot clams and it was the tartar sauce and it was just that roadside feel. And so seafood was. I've always loved seafood. I can eat seafood
All day.
7 days a week. You could say seafood every time I ask you, and I'm there. You know, that's not a hard sell for me. And so after that, we decided, all right, what we're going to do. You know, my wife came up with the name. We're going to Roadside Seafood. We're going to do like shrimp and fried oysters and all this stuff. So we started doing the truck, getting everything ready, and I was the guy that owns the True Value hardware store further up Folly Road here.
Okay.
Used to have food trucks there, and so I asked him, you know, and then we ended up working out a deal where I would pay him X amount of dollars a week, and he just let me stay there. So it was like I had my own little spot.
Was it like the owner of the building, or was it like you got to pay the manager, or how did that work?
No, he owned it.
Okay.
Mr. Towns is his name. He owned it. He owns it, and so people started coming up a little at a time. I remember one of my favorite customers. She was in here just yesterday. Miss Richardson came up to the truck. She looked in. She's like, "Is this what they call them, roach coaches?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. That's what they call them." But I said, "No, these are DHEC certified. This is like cooking in your kitchen at home." So she ordered some food, and she's been a customer of mine for like 8 years now. So we do the shrimp. The local heat and air guy, Bernie Myatt, I remember he stopped by and got like 2 shrimp dinners and parked in the parking lot and ate. Well, I got other customers coming to the window. And so I'm actually talking to a customer, and he just busts right up in the middle and was like, "Hey, my man, I just wanted to let you know that's the best shrimp I ever had." And I was like, "All right, thank you, sir." And he got on his car and he drove off, and I was like, "All right." So we were doing good. Then a lady who was in charge of getting food trucks in different locations came and ate from the truck and liked it so much, she invited us into their group. And so I joined like the Food Truck Federation, and you know, we would go to all these different factories and stuff. So we was making money. We was making money. Well, one day I was driving by on Folly, and the roadside building is now a different restaurant. You know, we're no longer affiliated with. I think it's a sushi place. But at the time it was a Thai place, and there was a sign out and it was like available, and I was like, damn, I always wanted to be in that building. That used to be the old Tangs. Japanese spot. The Chinese food spot.
Yeah.
You said a buffet? The
Four-piece wing.
Those wings was on.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Mr. Tang.
Fried rice,
listen, my man could cook his behind off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What happened to
these
them?
wings? Listen, man. If I
story.
had to tell you my whole life story, because I ended up working with him at the factory I told you about. I guess he fell on some hard times and came to work at the factory, and he used to bring us like hot red peppers and shit. And so there was a dude we worked with there. It was a Cajun dude. And you know, if you thought about a Cajun dude, this motherfucker looked like him. He was like with a little gray beard and shit, and with a little bandana. So Tang brought us some these little hot red peppers, right?
Tang.
Now I like hot stuff.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. So my man give me one. I'm like, all right. I mean, the shit was like this. It was just listen. It was little. So the location dude got like 3 or 4 in his hand. He popping these shit like popcorn. Just chewing these bitches.
Before you know it was hot.
Bruh. Listen. He was chewing these bitches up. I'm like, the shit can't be that hot.
You smash it.
This motherfucker is chewing these shit up. Like 3 of them.
Yeah.
So I got one in my hand. I ain't gonna be no bitch. So I was like, I chew the shit. Motherfucker, this is the hottest motherfucking pepper I ever had in my mouth.
Man.
When I say burn fire, my tongue was burning for like 3-4 hours, bruh. And I looked at this motherfucker like, this motherfucker, he must be super goddamn human.
Yeah.
Cause I know that shit gonna be explosive. Well, anyway, so.
Mr. Tang.
See how Mr. Tang. But so that used to be his Chinese restaurant building.
I think it was yellow and green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So me, and my stepdad partnered and opened Roadside Seafood from the truck. So now we had a brick and mortar location. And through family drama and blah, 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 and everything else, which I'm not going to get into, that's a whole nother podcast. We've ended up here. We've been at Gillie's now almost 6 years. And Gillie's was dedicated to my grandmother. And I thank God every day that he allowed her to see me open this. Because she died in 2019. I have a little elephant tattoo here that my boy Donnie did.
You knew that.
You
knew that.
She loved elephants just because I
thought it was gay.
She's always here with. She's always here with me.
So Gillie's, where did the name Gillie's come from? Her?
Well, she's a Gilliard, and so Gillie is the nickname. And so, but we're all Gillies. I mean, but yeah, that was the basis of the name. But the foundation of me is her. You know, my grandmother raised us. We lived in California, and my dad was in the Air Force and was stationed in, I believe, San Diego. But we lived in Sacramento. And so my mom she was young kids, so she was always out.
I know y'all.
My mom was. My mom.
Getting it.
She didn't stay in the house much.
That was your mom earlier, right?
No. You never met my mom.
Hell no.
Oh.
No. That Janie's a family friend.
Oh, she's called. She was calling you
Janie's
her son.
Janie's.
You would see the hint of Louis Vuitton in the background as she walks by.
Gotcha. She's a family friend. But so my mom was always gone. So we were raised. I mean, we was being watched by babysitters. Now, at the age I am now, and at the age I was at the age these babysitters were, I know what kind of sick shit runs through your head. And so we had some questionable babysitters. I mean, I remember being tied up.
What?
No.
Let me get a lighter.
It's a shot.
Take
a shot.
Shot. Yeah. You on the shade. You on the shade.
Shot. Yo. What? Tied up.
You taking this to another level, man. You on the shade. We have to edit. You on the shade.
Yeah, we might have to stop.
I know you can edit this all the time.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but yo, fuck you talking about getting tied up when you taking this shit too deep. Jesus.
Too deep? I think
you gotta take this to the.
It all depends where you go. What's where you go?
You need another shot.
Okay.
Yo. I seen that nigga watch a video earlier.
No. Listen. I know just how to. I know how to transition right on.
Yeah.
So he cut it out.
Let me listen.
You hit this blunt, yo.
Look, I'm gonna transition right out of that.
Am I tripping? I'm not tripping.
You tripping.
Audience that will listen to this podcast.
Nigga, you got an uncut version.
Follow me for the rest of the details of the story.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Follow that nigga.
We'll save that for another time.
Just tell us about it though. He gonna edit this anyway. You might as well just put it out there.
Listen, I'm gonna
I
segue
just wanted
right
to make
out.
sure
The
we was clear what was going on.
The reason I said it.
What rabbit hole?
The reason I said it was my grandmother was like, "No, my baby's just coming home with me.
Right.
You live your life."
Oh, it didn't sound like that.
No.
So
It
no,
didn't sound like that.
that's what it was. So we moved to Charleston.
Okay.
I've been here ever since. Would visit my family in Rhode Island every few years.
I'm into this story.
And so she raised me. So she taught me how to be a man. My grandmother did.
Old school way.
Right.
How to be a stand-up guy.
My dad was around.
Stand-up guy.
My dad was around, but my dad wasn't really. He wasn't one of those touchy-feely fathers.
It was tough love.
It was
Get
tough
on with
love.
it.
Or no, even the hugs felt cold sometimes. But it wasn't. I mean, I love my dad. My dad never did anything wrong for me. He always bought my first car when I had a red Camaro right out of high school. I mean, but my dad was old school. My dad was like, if I buy you a radio, I ain't never buying you another radio.
And that bitch better work every time I come in here.
Listen.
Hold on, buy a radio. No, cars coming radio.
That was for everything. If he bought you a record player at 13 years old, that bitch better work when you 18 because he ain't buying you another one.
No wonder.
That was how he was. And so, when we get the road, I was talking about my grandmother, so I'll do that because of the food background.
Uh-huh.
So, my grandmother could cook her behind off. Every Sunday morning. We had, that movie Soul Food? That was us on Sunday morning. Right?
Big Mama.
Listen, she used to turn the oven on low, put that roast in the oven. We go to church, because in my granny house, when you wake up in the morning,
You gotta go to church.
you going to church.
Yeah, you
you
gotta go to
ain't
church.
living in this
Always
house.
gotta go to
No,
church.
she was a devout Christian.
And you going.
She prayed a lot of stuff off of me.
Yeah.
Best believe and book it. So, Granny could cook her behind off. And we ate well. We ate well as kids. Her babies did not go hungry. And so, I'm talking the best candied yams, stuffing, ham, roast, smothered pork chops. Bruh, listen, this woman, the Sylvia lady in New York that everybody be talking about, she ain't had nothing on my granny. This Southern roots, blood in the goddamn ground, she grew up in the 60s, man.
Yeah.
Sit-ins, all that stuff. She was a part of that. I mean, we got family members that was the first people to integrate the schools downtown. It was real, man. It wasn't that long ago, man. It wasn't that long ago. But I mean, we was here. Keep that away from me. Keep that away.
You gotta go work.
So
I don't have to open the
So from a young age, anytime she was in the kitchen, I was in the kitchen.
Right.
How you do that, Granny? Show me how you do this, Granny. Damn, Granny, that tastes good. I mean, my grandma's the only woman. Listen, you couldn't get me to eat beef liver if my life depended on it. And I walked in the house one day. I must have been like 18 years old, almost out of high school. And I was like, God dang, when I walked in the door, like in cartoons, smoke hands and shit.
Yeah.
Smacked me in my goddamn face. The smell, bruh.
I got smoke.
The smell, smell on this. I was like, yo, Granny, what is you cooking? Let me get some of that. She's like, oh, baby, I'm just smothering some beef livers and gravy.
Doing some shit to make your mouth water.
And I was like, but Granny, I don't eat beef liver, but that smells so good. I said, no, I ain't gonna have none. So I went and I sat. Let me
give you a little taste.
She had this little kitchenette, almost like this, in the kitchen. So I sat down. There was a TV right there, and I'm watching TV, and the smell is just. It was like, all right, motherfucker. I slapped you once. I'm gonna slap you again. So I said, Granny, you know what? Let me try some of that. Don't like beef liver.
Yeah.
Don't like beef liver. The smell alone made me cut that damn nasty ass beef liver and put it in my mouth and chew it. I said, nope. I spit that out. I didn't eat it. She understood. But that's how good that woman could cook. To make a man who has never in his life liked beef liver attempt to try it.
Because of the smell.
Because of the smell that hit me when I walked in that door. I said, God damn, this woman is blessed. She made the best sweet potato pies.
Bread pudding, you know, make bread pudding?
Bruh. My granny used to work downtown in the Piggly Wiggly. back when you went to Piggly Wiggly, the food was good.
When I had
All them
cafeteria.
grandmas was working down there, busting out some good ass food. Red rice, man, they gone now, man.
I know the answer. I know the result.
All them angels now, bro. But the food, I mean, she was always feeding somebody. And so I was like, yeah, I want to do something with food. Of course, life kind of takes you in different directions. But when I got to the part where I didn't go to culinary school, but I had the food background. So then it wasn't, okay, I got this part of it. What else do I need? I need some money. Money is what I need. So I've done some stupid shit in my life to try to get money to achieve this goal. Well, things worked out. My stepfather invested. We have the money.
So how important is it easier to get a line of credit, or is it easier to get a loan? What's the best way?
Listen, me and credit, we ain't speaking right now, bro.
I never speak credit.
Let me let you know, and for everybody watching this, tell your school boards, teach a class in school, teach these kids how to live in this world that we living in right now, and how to be responsible with this shit. Y'all done made credit so goddamn important that you need to teach these kids how to keep. Man, when I turned 18, they was, every time I look, free credit card, free credit card, free credit card. With my dumb ass, I want that, I want that too. 4 or 5 credit cards, you out there buying Jordans and shit you don't need to buy.
Right.
And this is a bad thing about me. I'm getting these bills in the mail. Hey man, minimum payment $25.
Right.
It's $25. I pissed that away in a day.
I tossed that in the bathroom.
So $25. I'm like, well, fuck it. I want to do something with the money I have right now. So I fucking around, and when I did finally say, all right, maybe I need to pay it, they had canceled the shit. So now my credit was fucked up. I bought a car one time from a girl. It was a family car, but it was a little Hyundai Accent, a little piece of shit car.
Yeah.
And fell behind payments on that. You know, so the repo man trying to look, we hide from this motherfucker. Riding all over the place, parking it out on Seabrook Island where they can't get to. And I remember that one time a hurricane was coming through and I parked that damn car under a tree and I was like, Lord, please.
Let the tree fall on it.
Let the tree fall on this thing so insurance can pay for it and I can be done with this goddamn car.
Tree don't fall.
Tree don't fall.
Oh.
So I ended up giving the car back. My credit is fucked.
But is it personal credit or business credit though?
No, personal credit. Now
I never got a business credit.
Listen,
I didn't learn that.
I'm in the process.
They laugh at me.
I'm glad you said that. My wife just showed me a TikTok of this lady who was telling people, if you have a business, if an LLC, get your business the line of credit, because like in the business I'm in now, we're turning enough money over that if this was considered just itself an entity, which it is, it has its own tax ID number, then you as the sole proprietor of said LLC can now purchase cars and homes in the business name. And the business, if your business is successful, its line of credit is untouched because it's so much money coming through the door that your bills is always getting paid. You understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
Now, if it's personal, you got set amount in your check. I got a bigger pot to pull from. But, you know, responsibilities, you still got to pay taxes, you still got to do all that shit. Because they'll shut you down real quick. But, so, we have Roadside. And it's a family business and we had family problems.
So is it better to get in business with speaking of that, family business, or would you do with your friends or someone unbiased?
Get it by your fucking self.
If I could do it all over again.
Okay.
I would want to do it by myself, but the problem with saying that is
You own. That's you.
well, no. The problem with saying this is I've gotten through this past. God put me through. This is what I had to go through to get here. So, Rick offering the retirement money and saying, "Hey, if you still want to do that thing, I'm down."
So, all right, say if you can start a business from scratch, what would you do then?
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. At the age I was when my credit was fucked, nobody was going to give me a loan to start a business, so I was going to have to do it off the muscle. Well, I have a slight gambling problem. Just tell you. My wife would beg to differ. I swear, honey, I'm trying to get better.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better, but I just love
the thrill.
That whole thing. It's
a
drug.
You don't get it?
Listen,
No,
it's no
fuck
different.
no.
Listen, it's no different than smoking marijuana or you gotta always have a drink.
It's a quick high there.
It's what
It's a vice.
there's certain things. It's a vice, and we all need them in our lives. But it is one of my vices. But anyway, there weren't many options for me that I saw. So when I had the opportunity, I took it. Part of being a successful business person is seizing those opportunities. Or when you see an opening, take it. Because
do you take
there's
all openings?
Is it?
Do you take all the openings or all the opportunities, or how do
You
choose?
take every opportunity that God puts in your path. And you'll know it because it's going to be an opportunity. And I'm going to blow your mind with this story. So, before I got that building, the roadside building, right at the last minute, because I was lowballing on the rent. I think at the time it was like $2,700. I'm a cheap motherfucker when it comes to money coming out of my pocket. I was like, I don't want to pay all of that. And I'm just starting. So I hit my man with, bam, look, bruh, I'm just starting. So go easy on me and then we can build that. Well, right at the last minute, somebody came through and said, I'll pay for a price. I
Fuck
want
you
that
all
spot.
up. Fuck you up. Fuck you up.
I find out later that the reason my man chose me was he happened to be in his insurance agent company, lady behind the desk. And he asked the lady, he said, hey, let me ask you a question. Have you eaten at that roadside seafood truck out there on Folly? The lady, they said, old girl almost fall out her goddamn chair. Oh, Lord, roadside, that food good. She said, that food good. The man said, that's why I chose you. He took me at a lower price now. I'm not paying him what my man said. I think he was asking 35. I think I got it for 27. I was, all right, let's do this. So I get in there, man, and I'm working day and night. The building was yellow when we first got it. And so me and my wife painted it. We did all the work. I did all the goddamn maintenance in that bitch. And my mom and my stepfather were partners, but nobody helped us. We did it all. And then after we got rolling, they came in. Hence why I would never, ever, to all of you out there thinking about going into business with your family
Or friends.
or somebody that you care about a lot, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Because it's going to destroy
Your friendship.
friendships and family ties that you should have never.
Bonds.
Like, it's a double-edged sword. If you said, well, okay, if you went back and you could, don't do the restaurant and your family would have been straight, would you do it? No, because I like where I'm at right now. So I go through all of that shit again.
technically, at the end of the day, you came into this world alone.
And you're gonna leave
You
alone.
can pass alone.
You're gonna leave
So
alone.
everybody else is seasonal.
Nobody's going with you.
Everybody else cross your path is seasonal. Only in your
Nobody's
life for a
going
season,
with you.
not for the rest of your life.
So I would strongly recommend
Get
that
your money
you
up.
go, because it's not going to end well. Because people have ulterior motives.
It's not gonna end well, regardless.
It's not going to end well. Don't do it. I warned you. It's on you after this. But don't.
Grown.
So anyway, we're at Roadside, and
Smoke on that note.
the bar, there was a bar on the other side of Roadside Seafood. It was called Island Brown Grill.
Oh yeah.
Is it by that gold gym or
Oh
something?
yeah.
No. Matter of fact,
Next
we can
door.
walk out and I'll show you later before we leave. But it's now called Smoke and Brew. It's a whole different thing. So the guy who owned it, he was like living in North Dakota with his family, and he had somebody running over here. It was a shit show. Well, I saw him out front one day, and he was like, "Hey," he was like, "Yeah, man, I don't know, man. I'm trying to get out of this." I was like, "What? You trying to sell the bar?" I said, "How much?"
Say it ain't say, man.
I said, "How much you trying to sell?"
Talk about it. Talk
How much
about
you
it.
trying to sell for? I don't know, man. I'm into it for like $40,000 something dollars.
That's none of my business, man.
No, but he was like, but I'm at the point now, because I guess him and his wife was at the problem, because his ass either had to be in South Carolina where she couldn't be because he got kids and shit, or he got to be flying back and forth. He was tired of flying the fuck back and forth to North Dakota. I don't blame his ass. He's coming down here. So when he told me, he was like, "But I'll take 15." I was like,
Damn.
I was like, "My dog."
That's
I
cheap.
said, "Listen." I said, "Listen."
She said, God bless you.
I said, "Let me talk to my money and we'll get back with you." So I went, and I already knew we had the money in the bank.
You got to make sure you got the clearance.
I said, "Listen, clearance my ass, nigga. You got to be cutthroat in this shit. You have to be able, when I say seize your opportunity, seize your motherfucking opportunity."
I like to take my time. Everything happens for a reason.
So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and get this shit. Now my stepfather and mom were on vacation in Florida at the time.
Blowing Versace.
Don't know what they was doing, but I took the damn check and wrote that bitch out. Bought the bar. Now, the reason I bought the bar is because me and my mom had got into a point in our relationship with the restaurant that she wanted to be recognized. And one thing I can say is you can never call me arrogant, conceited. That's just not me. I'm a Sagittarius kind of thing. So I was getting the same challenges that I was getting when I was at the burgers place, but instead of another family, it's my mom. And so
It's weird. It's doubly weird.
And so I was at a point where I was like, look, I gotta get some breathing room from her. So with the bar being an opportunity, and like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to make this money because I want to get my wife a house, and we'll do all that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
We got a house on James Island, bought it through a family friend, got it for a hell of a deal. We probably bought it for like $75,000. We could probably sell it for like $450. So we did good.
Jeez.
But we've been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Family's grown. I've got 3 kids. I got a daughter that's graduating college this fall. I have a son that works here at the restaurant with me. And we have a younger daughter who's ultra uber talented. She'll one day, her name will be in lights. So I get a good family. But I'm thinking, I'm like, man, if I open the bar and do like burgers out of that,
You're right.
man, we're gonna double the money, boom, 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 boom. Well, they got back into town, found out I wrote the check. Hey, what's the check for? I bought the bar next door. Well, why you buy the bar next door? Because I did.
I wanted it.
But you didn't ask us.
Yeah.
I ain't got to ask you. This money, my money too.
It's our money.
So that fractured the whole fucking shit.
Yo, this is news to me.
Listen.
This is news to me.
Fractured the whole fucking shit. And so
I was there, but I wasn't there.
I remember the night we were in there and they were like, well, either you put me on the bar or you get the fuck out of Roadside. Now Roadside, I'll always give them credit for bringing the money. Mm-hmm. But their investment in Roadside Seafood was probably about $20,000. And the second year we were open, and in case anybody from the IRS is watching this, I'm not going to say, but we made substantially more money than that.
Right.
You too drunk.
Shut up. So I was thinking, that night I remember I was like, well, we in there yelling and screaming, oh, well, fuck it, man. Y'all can have this shit.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I remember that.
Left, went home, told my wife what happened. My wife said, nigga, you ain't about to give them half our shit. I said, you know what? God damn it, girl, you right. So I went back. I was like, I ain't going nowhere. So now we button heads at every goddamn. There's nothing.
They don't want us over there. Nothing.
There is nothing we ain't arguing about over there. It was miserable. I didn't talk to my mama for 2 years. 2 whole years. I didn't talk to my mama behind all that. So there was a point this building here was available.
It's the hardest building.
Me and Rick, this used to be a convenience store.
Every spot that been here closed down.
This used to be a convenience store.
Wow.
This been a million things.
It was a convenience store. So a guy bought it, turned it into a tap room.
Okay. Tap room was that? Like a bar?
Yeah.
Like a bar.
Okay.
It sold some snacks and some little tidbit shit, but nothing crazy. Then he went to sell it to some friends of his. Well, I'm not gonna talk about the other dude because he got in all kind of trouble and everything. But anyway,
Yes.
so I remember coming over, me and Rick, when it was the tap room thing, and we was like, ooh, them boys ain't gonna make it. So then they offered it to us, and Rick was like, well, I don't know, do we want to do it? Well, I was already jaded against working with them anymore. As part of the reason with the bar was they said when I got into business with them on Roadside, they thought that everything that I did from now on would be with them included. And I said, no.
I want my own shit.
I did Roadside with you. Anything else I do is me.
Right.
They couldn't get with that. And my mom,
They didn't want to get with
my
it.
mom with money.
She ain't letting it go. She blow Versace. Please pass me my go box over there, please, please.
Yes, sir.
So I can smash on my shit.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you, bro.
Like I said, whole nother story, whole nother podcast. So the guy that was here, I became friendly with him.
Okay.
And he was telling me about how he wanted to sell it. Well, I came to him, I said, you still looking to sell it? And he said, well, a guy just contacted me, they want to buy it. And so, probably not. I said, well, hey, and my grandmother, I said, all right, well, thanks for talking to me. Left, went home, texted him, because my grandmother always taught me, always do that last little bit.
Yeah.
Last
Don't
little
be too
bit.
proud to beg.
You know what I mean? I said, hey, appreciate you
Letting me know.
talking to me today. If, for some reason, something doesn't work out, let me know.
Let me know.
When I say God has his
Called you the next
hands
day?
on your life, listen to me, my brother. Monday morning, I get a phone call. Yo, the deal fell through. Come talk to me. So I went and talked to him. I paid, I think, $35,000 to get into the building. And the rest of their payments I would pay. They allowed me to pay them without interest.
Oh God, yeah.
No cap.
Hell yeah.
No
When I
cap.
say in your life, these are no. I'm not disparaging white folks at all, because they're good white folks just like there's good black folks. But he has put the right white folks in my path, because understand me and believe, as a person of color, we gonna go through so much more shit
Yes.
to get to the other side, which kind of makes it even more enjoyable when you do
Worth it.
own your own shit. You know what I mean? So, didn't charge me interest.
Wow.
Every month I'm paying through the,
Right.
you know, with the sales that we're getting. The first month I had this place, there's a lot that runs behind it. Well, the person that owns this building didn't own
The lot.
the lot. The lot was owned by another gentleman. So I was paying, the first month I was open, I was paying rent for this place. And I was paying rent for
The lot.
the lot.
I didn't know you got to pay rent for a lot.
The lot was $900 a month. But listen, again, when I say his hand is on you, listen. So, at this time, they're still at Roadside. I'm no longer involved. So imagine I own the restaurants on both sides of them. And we feud doing shady shit. They had a manager that they hired. This heifer was trying to get customers' cars towed. If one of my homeboys that worked for them came and worked for me,
Yeah.
because I had time, but they were still working there. Still was working
They
their
don't
40
want
hours
them. They
there.
don't want
They didn't even want them associating with us. They would try to tow their cars. I mean, and so all of the
shit.
folks that are still with me to this day, 6-7 years, we done been through some shit. I tell people all the time, if A&E or if Discovery Channel or Bravo said, yo, pitch me a story, bro, I could write you a goddamn novel and the shit I have seen since I started and owned my own business. It is both the most satisfying thing you can do and the most depressingly disappointing thing you can do
That's business owner.
at the same time. Because, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't
Trade it
change
for the world.
I'll never work for somebody in my life. Never. But when they say the heavy head wears the crown, there's a lot that goes on with I am currently now, as the owner of this business,
Don't tell you money.
responsible for the lives of all the employees and their families. I have a busy restaurant, they get paid, they pay their bills. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get into what I pay my employees, but it's well above
Don't.
even what the federal minimum wage needs to be.
I ain't with none of that.
You understand what I'm saying? So, because I've been there, I've been in the trenches. I was an Outback, I was a line cook. They shit on you, man. You bust your ass. You go to work every day. You dead tired. I remember when the Outback I worked at first opened, it was brand new. So they wanted the equipment to look brand new every goddamn night. Now I'm an old country boy from James Island.
Yeah.
If you want me to scrub this shit, I'm gonna take a minute. Bruh, we would take hours to clean that fucking equipment.
Yeah.
So I remember somebody from the upper level must have shouted down to one of the little peon motherfuckers and was like, yo, the hours is too high, y'all need to cut this shit down. So I remember I was scrubbing fucking oven pans in the back sink one night, and one of the managers came up and she was like, hey. Her name was Linda Williams, cute girl. She's a sweetheart. one of my Outback friends, and she said, "Hey, Sean, how much longer are you gonna be?" And I said, "Hey, I could have been out here 30 minutes ago, but y'all want us to clean these bitches like they're brand new."
Yeah.
I mean, we work on them every fucking day, so eventually that doesn't happen. Cleaning gets slack, and then all the equipment looks like shit, and you just gotta replace shit. But I mean, for the most part, Outback kept a real clean kitchen, and I actually rose up to kitchen manager of Outback. But you know, like I've seen customers come weekly. I've seen customers that, you know, they come with their spouse and the elderly, and then eventually one of the spouses dies, and another. I mean, so, you know, I love to see. Like, you know, we have a grandma wall. It's called the grandma wall here at Gillie's, and you know, when you walk when you walk into my grandma's house, she always had pictures of everybody on the walls. I remember she had her friend Leroy make her hallway. It looked like a museum hallway. Literally.
That's how James Island, that's how all the houses look.
Listen, bro, there were pictures on the wall. There were lights on the pictures. It was me, my sisters, my sister, my brothers, everybody in the family. And so when I opened this, and this was my dedication to her, because, like I said, without her, none of this would have happened. Because she gave me the tools in life to navigate all of the hurdles that I've had to go through, and still be able to come out on the other side of that. So, you know, like I said, so many different ways we could go, but you know, dedicated to her. So the pictures on the wall remind me of, you know, on our current wall, there's a picture of her in a big old wicker chair, and she was beautiful as ever, holding my brother Mario with me sitting right next to her. It's that square picture right there.
I'll show you those pictures.
Below,
oh, right there.
Yeah, right there in the middle.
Yeah.
And so below that is my great grandmother, Eunice Boyd, and she died when I was very young. But she did fly out. I was born in Guam because, of course, my parents were in the Air Force. That's where they went. My mom and dad met in the Air Force.
I didn't even know that.
And so I was born in Guam, and so she flew to Guam and stayed out there. So the only thing I remember her, but not well. I remember when she died, we went to the funeral, and I remember it's a tradition, it's a custom. I know in African American families, but I know they took us and they carried us across the grave.
I heard that yesterday.
Have you heard that?
Just yesterday for the first time. Why is that? We don't do it enough. I never asked. I've heard it's to keep the bad spirits away. Whatever the reason, I do vaguely. I clearly remember being lifted up and carried over the casket and before it went into the ground. Yeah, folks, I don't know.
Creepy.
Look that shit up. But so I didn't remember her well. But her sister, Marie Croker, who would be on our side, it would be our left.
Okay.
Round picture. The other picture on the other side is my great grandmother I was telling you about. That woman could cook her behind off. When I tell you, growing up, and she would watch us a lot because my grandmother was working, and you couldn't have a better. She was like the female Mr. Rogers, and she was a devout Christian. I remember we would go to this place in North Charleston. They call it the Duck Pond. Ducks all in the water. You take a loaf of bread out there. We throw them
real ducks or rubber ducks?
No, real ass fucking ducks, man. Real ducks.
Rubber ducks.
And we would feed the ducks.
Yeah.
And anytime somebody would come by, she would always, do you know Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior? And she was just always, she taught Sunday school. And I remember my grandmother, we lived in West Ashland. kind of where the Cinema Mall is now. And at that time. And so my youngest brother, Eddie, who was here, I think you met him, he was young enough to where Granny didn't want to be watching no young little child.
Yeah.
So Aunt Ree kept him. Her name was Marie Croker, but we called her Aunt Ree. She kept him. And so when we would go over there on Sundays, she would teach Sunday school. So we had to get up early. We had to get up a whole extra hour early. And you know, kids at that age, we just want to get up and watch cartoons. We don't want to go to church. So, but you got to go to church. You don't have a choice. And so we would go and I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that?
Church.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing me back. So we go to church, and then we go home. Granny would take us home.
Yeah.
And you know, if you grew up in the South, I mean, deep South, Southern Baptist, black church lasts 3 hours minimum on a Sunday when people want to watch football. Man, when my grandma ended up changing churches, listen, she went to one of these non-denominational churches. Bunch of white folks in the church. Whoa. Everybody friendly. I met some lifelong friends in the church. Bruh, them boys got service at 11, 12 o'clock. You out the door. You home, Granny got the food ready. We watching football on TV.
Yeah.
But not no black church, bro. No,
Cheesecake.
sir. No, sir.
Like Gillie.
There's always...
They gotta show it.
Cheesecake. Shit is real. Dope shit. Intermission. Cheesecake. Off the chain.
You know how there's always the older lady in church stand up. She guys thank the Lord for everything the Lord did for her that week. And no disrespect, but we trying to get home to watch the Steelers, man. You know, Franco Harris all day long. We trying to get home and watch the Steelers. So Eddie would have to stay over there with Aunt Ree, but when we would stay over there, this woman would make scratch-made blueberry pancakes. All them people out there frying the chicken and then putting it in the barbecue sauce. No.
Real cheesecake.
No. She is the OG originator of that. I remember this woman smothered some goddamn fried chicken thighs and barbecue sauce, folks. And when I tell you, food memories, that is one that'll never, ever leave my mind.
Yeah.
Man, this woman put the chicken on my plate. I picked the chicken up. I bit the chicken. And have you seen Ratatouille?
I eat the cheesecake.
Bro, you seen Ratatouille, bro? Have you seen Ratatouille?
Yes.
You remember when Remy?
Back there?
You remember when Remy was teaching his brother? He was like, "Man, eat the cheese. Now eat the grape."
You feel the essence.
And get that.
Right.
That's what happened to me when I bit that fucking chicken, bro. I was like, "What the hell?"
I like to inspect it.
Has this woman done
When you ate the
to
ratatouille.
this chicken, because she smothered it in barbecue sauce,
Flashback.
but the chicken was still crispy, bro.
That's how your chicken tastes. That's how your fried chicken tastes. Bye-bye.
Give me that. When I say crispy,
Woo!
I'm gonna take a drink of that, John.
Shots!
Shots.
I done
Yeah.
drank my shot, man. I'm drinking.
No. I got plenty of vodka right here.
We got vodka right there?
Yeah, plenty of vodka right here.
Whatever. No cheesecake off the chain.
Yeah.
Didn't even
What's
expect
that,
that
like?
shit.
That's key lime. Yeah, key lime vodka.
Let's get up high.
It's
No
good,
cheesecake.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's good, isn't it?
I don't use it.
Key lime pie?
Hey, listen.
I thought it was cheesecake.
Disclaimer.
I thought it was cheesecake.
Disclaimer.
I said cheesecake all day.
Listen.
Woo.
I have a friend. Her name is Judy Papademetria.
She Italian?
Greek.
Greek. Gotcha.
So
Do she want to be black?
it's, you know, everything in your life story intersects and crosses. And so pulling you back to when I was in high school.
I'm still in this cake.
When I graduated, my grandmother said, "All right, baby, where you going to college?"
Okay.
And I looked her dead in her eye.
I ain't going to college.
And I said, I just did 12 years of well, I didn't say fucking, but I just did 12 years of goddamn in high school. I'm gonna take a break.
I'm tired.
Now, kids,
Don't do that.
anybody that's listening,
Don't do that.
that's the worst advice you could give yourself ever in your life.
Bad advice.
Why you say that?
Because with the drive that I could have applied myself to do.
But look where you are today.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Things have to happen in your life to get to where you are. So, in high school, prior to graduation, I was in the honors block. I was a smart kid. I wasn't a dummy. But I didn't like school. I didn't like
Cousins, fucking
being
cousins.
confined. I didn't. I mean, I loved history.
That's true.
I loved history.
Hands out and small.
Listen, man. Listen. Listen.
Change all of that, Charles Dollar, man.
Listen.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I love history. I've hated math since the 3rd grade.
I know what she's favorite.
And I remember, first grade, second grade, plus 8, 1, 2, addition, subtraction. Okay, it's getting progressively harder for my brain. But I remember multiplication really fucked me up. I got through it. I got through division. Decimals really put a kick in the groin. And by algebra, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do any job where I need to use this. I don't want to. Now, ironically, being a chef, portions, I have had to learn measures and stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, it was just
what's the crust on this pie?
Speaking of pie, baby, I know what cheese hit.
So, okay.
Tell me, living meringue.
This crust.
So she said I had to get a job. I got a job at Blockbuster Video.
Okay.
It's a mattress store now.
Yeah.
That's where I met my wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, I didn't know none of this.
I used to work with her dad. Her dad used to be an assistant manager there. But I met lifelong friends there. I tend to make friends. I'm a pretty good guy. And so I was working there, and Judy was working there. And at the time, I believe she was finishing up her degree in culinary at College of Charleston, wherever she was getting ready to graduate from, as a pastry chef. So she started her business. So what I do on a daily basis here is a lot. I have a fairly sizable menu. And my employees rock. Everybody rocks. But I have a sizable menu. And I was like, I can make pies, I can make cheese. I used to have a cheesecake business. I was like, you know what?
This is good.
I had her pie. I was like, well, goddamn, Judy. So Judy had since was the pastry chef, did this, did that, has her own business now. We've been friends since Roadside. She loves to watch like binge series.
Yeah.
And so every time I see her, she's like, have you seen Vikings? Have you seen this? Have you seen
Stranger Things and shit.
Stranger Things. My youngest
Karate
daughter.
Kid.
My youngest daughter.
Cobra Kai.
Crazy for Stranger Things.
That is amazing, dog.
They got listen, bro. I watch all of that, bro. I'm watching the Lord of the Rings thing now. I like the I like all that shit.
This crust off the chain.
I like this crust.
Is it homemade crust?
Yeah, it's all homemade. That lady put her foot in it, y'all. You don't know what that means? That means it's
got an ugly crusty.
Good. It's so good.
Her toe.
Stink.
So
That's what her toe look like.
she does my desserts because I also believe in business, friendships matter. Because we're a small, tight-knit community, and so, I've never been the type dude to be like, yo, I want to get all the money. I want everybody to eat.
Right.
People sometimes they say my heart's too big. I give too much, but I've always wanted everybody to
Give just enough, brother.
We would have
just enough.
I remember when this place was available, we had Roadside. Somebody was like, "Yo, what are you gonna do?" Somebody put a seafood restaurant right next to you. I was like, "Well, then we just gonna go head to head, and they'll come to who is the best." I mean, I've had people come to my restaurant when we had Roadside that had eaten someplace else in Charleston for years. Came there and never went back. Homeboy of mine used to date my sister. Came there with his dad one time. They ate. He was like, yo, bro, they can't stop talking about this food. So every time they come into town now, he passed right by that spot and come here.
And
lifelong friendships.
the jambalaya rice.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
listen,
smash
man.
all that.
Listen, folks, it's done fresh daily. We is out here. Man, I'm going to the store every day buying stuff for this spot. So, where was I? I went to Judy. So anyway,
Yeah.
jumping back from Judy because that's her pie. He brought me all the way back there. Okay. So we get into Roadside. So I'm feuding with them, and I got both these places going. And anybody who wants to own a bar, please realize, and matter of fact, the landlord who owned that building, we used to talk sometimes, and he would say, he was like, Sean, listen, I know the bar business, it's a business. He said, all his friends who run successful bars tell him that the 5 days that you're in there, you're gonna make money, but the 2 days you take off, they're gonna rob you blind. So I was having some issues. I was like, you know what? I let this shit go. So I let it go. I let it go. I got out of it. I let it go.
How did you get out? Did you sell it or did you kind of just quit?
No, I was just leasing the building. It wasn't. I didn't own the property. But I was just like, you know what? When the last lease was coming, I was like, we're just not going there. We just be done.
So how do you let your people know, like, hey, this is about 2 weeks?
The beauty, I didn't have to because I own this up. I secured this because the end game for me was, all right, I'm feuding with the family at Roadside. They won't give me any money. I'm making good money, but it is what it is. So I was like, well, I got the bar. I've got this. This is just getting off the ground. Well, when I got the bar, it had a patio in the back. And, I should probably say some of this for the book, but it had a patio in the back.
Yeah.
And so one of the guys that came over to eat some burgers one day, he was a contractor, and he was like, hey, man, I got some extra wood. I can hook this shit up for you. Gave me a hell of a price on it. Man, he built this fucking monstrosity of a structure. So it just so happened that the town of James Island had just hired this girl as a planner.
Shot.
Yeah.
Whew. I'm glad the bottle's gone.
Yeah.
Bottle's empty.
Yeah.
Thank God.
No sponsorships yet, but
They know the shape of the bottle.
You got any black-owned drinks, bottles inside here?
No.
Universal.
Honestly, this is a podcast I'm doing with you.
Yeah.
But Gillie's doesn't serve alcohol.
We're not at Gillie's.
That's a whole nother story.
We are at another establishment. And we refuse the name.
We would just edit that whole thing.
Gotcha.
Okay. So.
You editing?
So I had this building, so I didn't have to tell them a 2-week notice or anything. They just all came here and worked for me. And I've got, like I said, I've got employees that work with me forever. And so after I had this, I had some tickets for Disney World that they were going to expire. And I was like, well, shit, man, we about to open this shit. We got a whole staff in here. Let them motherfuckers run it. We just shoot down to Disney World. So we only went for like, shit, we might have went a week. Because when I go to Disney World, I go to fucking Disney World. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
Money is no object. I work just to go to Disney World. So we shot down there. I'm down there. I'm in the park like day 2. Having a good old goddamn time. I'm spending all my goddamn money.
All day.
Balling out of control. Y'all want that? Get that. We on vacation. Don't go on vacation if you can't spend no money. Bang, 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 bang. I'm Puff Daddy in that. You know what I'm saying?
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Bad boy.
All that shit. All that shit. So I get a phone call. Answer the phone call. It's the dude that I had. No, that's the time for another.
That time is now.
Alright, so you
So I'm saying
said
that's. Go ahead.
let's start with y'all two.
Because that's the subject of.
So
That's the matter of logic to me to relate to your situation. Because your situation was family.
Yeah.
My situation was close family, friends wanting to be a part of it. And I'm like, nah. Even strangers that just had the idea of their relationship with tattooing. I want to be part of it. Fuck is you? Did you go through the fucking process that I went through?
Right.
Like we looking for buildings and all kinds of shit.
Right.
But then compared to yours is family. Yours is blood.
Yeah, no, my blood.
So it's even
Blood
more
that birthed
personal
me.
than yours.
Yeah.
Nah, man. I look at them motherfucking clowns like, fuck you, yeah. You ain't been through the struggles that I've been through.
Well, listen, I do what I want.
Yeah, but you still, it still has to be different compared to mine. When I have relationships.
No.
You had your mother.
Yeah, no. Everybody.
That's weird.
Everybody's gonna have. Well, and that's the thing. You learn.
But at the end of the day, especially that you learn
But
and
see,
you're an adult.
but the fact that I still love my mom.
You always love your mother, but then she raised you to
But
be a
I
man.
look at her differently.
She raised you to be a man, though.
She didn't raise me at all. My granny
You on
raised me.
some deeper shit.
Yeah, my granny raised me.
Grandma
When my-
usually raised us at the time.
When
of
my
era that we was
grandmama
born.
died, it was like my mom was passed.
You was born in the 70s, 60s.
My grandma was born like my own.
You was born.
I was born 73.
You was born in 70s, yeah. That's when
So-
grandmama that's when grandmama be mama. That's why
Yeah,
our
because
grandmamas
mama
be
was
called
still,
mama.
Mama was still young. She was out
She
there.
was turning up.
She was
That's
turning
why
out.
most of our generations call our grandmother's mother, mama.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
she was turning out.
Yeah.
Granny said, "Bring me the babies, I'll raise them."
Bet.
And that's what happened. And that's why I'm here. I mean, if we would have lived out there with my mama, Jesus Christ, I don't know where we would have been.
Your mama turned up.
She has turned all
Your
the
mama
way
turned
up.
up and still blowing
She
Versace.
turned all the way.
Still blowing Versace.
She turned all the way. Up.
So we start with this question too. That was good, some B-roll. Y'all got some B-roll in there.
Okay.
But personal development, right? How important is that internally to a business owner?
I like the idea of being raised in a versatile atmosphere. Even with yours, I didn't even know that you was born in Guam and you grew up in California, and you grew up versatile where people in the neighborhood were all different.
Right.
Same with me. I grew up in Westchester, but then I grew up in Point James Apartments. Where
So
you know where
had-
that at?
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Where my
yeah.
mother raised me in a
My
diverse and all
aunt and
that.
uncle used to live over there.
I think that was very admirable to hear that you grew up in the same
Yeah, man.
same way everything was. Not everybody's black. You got to adapt to whites, Asians, all Spanish.
Right.
Adapt to all different kind of diversity of people, so you can like mingle anywhere you want.
Personal development. All I would say about that is that, like, you gotta love yourself. You know what I mean?
You gotta know who you are.
You're busy. Everything that you do, business-wise, is going to emulate from
Who you are.
who you are, what you do, your family, your background, whatever. So if your life is shit, the business is going to be shit. There's no way it cannot be. So personal development, I would say anybody that's doing something that's high stress, like the restaurant business is, have an outlet. Have an outlet. Develop some things. Read books. Watch movies. Have something that you do that gets you away from all of the grind.
Spend excess money on Transformers and toys and childhood shit.
Have an outlet. Personal development will make the business flow better. You feel good, the business is going to thrive on, because the business is you. You know, it takes the attitude of the ownership. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's very important to kind of keep you centered.
So, is gifts, passions, and your skill set, right? So, do you kind of create your business on your passion or your gift, and why?
Both. You have to intertwine both of them. You can't go 100% in each of them, but you can take
You
pieces
said
from your goals,
what were the two? It was
your goal and your
Your
passion.
your passion and your gift.
Your passion and your gift.
Sometimes your passion you might not be good at your passion, but you have a natural gift.
So you're asking me what the?
Do you build your business upon that?
I would say it's the gift for me.
What is your
because
gift? Cooking?
My gift is cooking.
What is your passion? Cooking.
My passion is cooking. My passion is
The reaction from people.
when I get the reaction from people when I'm cooking. That is the payoff. Like to stand at the corner and watch somebody get your food for the first time, and they take a bite and they go, or they're like shoveling in the next person's face.
Eat the shit, man. This is the shit.
Excuse me.
Drugs.
Yeah. It is the payoff.
Right.
But the skill, what I learned from my grandmother, is what built the business.
What's your
To do something precious for a client and to see them weep, to see them cry, it's very rewarding. And then it's so rewarding to where you, in a sense, where I know this is about to happen, I know she's about to cry, I want to record it, and then you see them at their place where they're just so vulnerable, and you just say to yourself, let them have their moment. It's not even worth capturing it. It's precious. It's more precious for you to keep it within yourself than to share it. And it's a double-edged sword because you want to sell it and
you want to
expose it. Yeah. But then other side of you is like, nah, it's not even worth it. It's just for them to have that moment to themselves. And they're so vulnerable about it. They don't even know that you already planned it. You already knew that you was going to do it. You know what I'm saying? But right when they about to do it, you don't want to do it. It's the humanity in me that's not in this world today. Everybody's selfish, evil, and got the shot and they're weird.
I got the shot.
You're weird too sometimes. But you're alright.
But so you said investments is so you think it's easier than like to save up your money or always ask for an investment from somebody to start your business?
Because of my how I got to where I'm at, if I can't get it myself, it's hard.
It's not worth it.
Trust or like during COVID when we were shut down, we just did to go only. We did well. We did well enough to where I didn't need government assistance because I didn't want it. You know what I mean? If we could make it.
That's
happen.
a burden.
It is. I don't want to owe anybody anything, and so that's kind of how Uncle Sam's gonna get his. He gonna get his. Folks, if you don't pay your taxes,
I'm gonna get it regardless.
They will come and shut your shit down. They took the watch Elvis gave Red Fox when he owed the IRS, so they ain't playing with you. So anyway,
it took them a while to get Red Fox though.
It did take them a while.
Almost classic.
But yeah, that's what he said.
Right before he passed, they got him.
They did.
He discovered it. He was on the taxi for a long time.
What about you?
What was the question?
So is it easier to start with investments?
Well, the card that the good Lord has dealt me, I didn't have no choice but to rely on my own pocket. I'm blessed to be. I was in a situation where I was at a shop where they were paying me a substantial amount of money, and after they let me off, I was still making money taking care of my mother. So growing up here, for me, that's who I am and my heritage. I already got a strike against me, or a few strikes against me. So I already knew that the loans and all that support that the average man would probably get, I wouldn't get it. So I knew I had to rely on people that I knew, who I grew up with, and my own pocket. I still pay out of pocket. I don't have no business loan. I don't have nothing. Everything that Cat Williams talking about, he owns everything. I own everything. Where nobody's not gonna get $1 out of me unless I allow it to. You know what I'm saying? So for the type of young man that I am, I have to do it on my own. And that's the best way, I think. That's the only way that I know. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the benefit of getting sponsorships and none of that shit. So that's the only way I know, so that's the only way I do it.
So business depression.
Business depression is down season for me. Slow season. Where you can't go to the strip club, you can't go to the bar, you can't do this, you can't buy the bar, you can't do none of that shit. You kind of got to be in a cocoon. You like in hibernation in a sense, where you just taking care of the necessities to keep the shop up, keeping the lights on and shit. But once once that season come around when it's time to turn up, everybody getting money and shit. Because everybody know the time when you getting money. Because that's when you top of the world. You're a rock star.
See, I
Fuck that shit.
I wish I had his business depression. I wish that was my problem.
But see, the problem with you is you have employees. I don't have employees.
You don't have employees.
I don't have the depression of worrying about the next man. Because I have humanity in my heart.
Because
same reason why you got it.
I have to juggle so many people's lives. And it's the cooking the food and feeding the people.
There's one thing.
That's the joy. Dealing with 20 some odd personalities, completely different story. And so you end up becoming a counselor. And,
you the new bartender.
Bruh, everybody tell you their problems.
Yep.
When they need something, they come to you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot. On top of you have a house with a wife and kids.
Oh!
And so you got all kinds of things
Oh,
going
Lord.
on. You got all kinds. So I would love your problems, bro.
Sure. You can broken
Please,
the
let's switch places.
Hey, no, baby.
So
I'll fire everybody. You know
yeah,
that.
no, that would be my depression.
And it's a different
would
game.
be just all of the nasty shit that you don't want to do.
The nasty game, the bad game is that I own my own business, but it's only me. I have people, employees seasonal. You have employees year round.
No, right. No,
you help
you're
out the
right.
whole community and stuff.
No, you're right. You're
So
right.
it's different than me. It's just I'm trying to survive on my own.
So is it
Now I don't envy that. I don't envy you not having somebody because I couldn't imagine doing the shit I'm doing now
By yourself.
by myself. There ain't no
And I've done it
fucking
for a
way.
little while.
Ain't no fucking way, bro.
That's when you say you
I give you all the fucking elbows for that shit, nigga.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You grind.
Yeah, I
Like
also-
people, like when you, you know, I helped Donnie. I didn't give him any money, but I helped him
got the paperwork.
get his little shit, get the paperwork started. Because I had already established my business. So I had my shit. My nigga said, yo, I like, bruh, I didn't hesitate. Yeah, I got you, nigga.
Yeah.
I got you. What we need to do. Tell me, show me, let's do this shit. So, but on the grinding part, I ain't never had to worry about this nigga paying rent, doing all this. This nigga pay his bills, this nigga make his money. He do what he do.
And I get my strippers through college. I get my strippers,
Yeah.
my hoes,
He out here putting beautiful work on people's arms.
stilettos, all that
Yeah.
shit on there. my
Oliver
strippers.
Pierre Tattoo Shop.
All
Y'all
day
got to
long,
look
baby.
him up.
I'll
Look
get
him
you
up.
through college, girl.
Look him up. He got half my body.
I'll get you associates,
He got half my goddamn
your
body.
GED.
He got half the body.
Hell, I'll get your high school diploma, girl.
He got the chest. He got everything. He got the Megatron, the badass fucking Megatron.
I'm getting unicorn tomorrow.
So, you stupid. So yeah. What's the next question, my brother?
is there
Yeah, yo, that was cool.
what was it? Survival remorse? Is that the thing when or guilt or something like that when you're successful and or you
don't
more
feel no
successful
guilty
than
nowhere.
your friends? What is? How do you
Fuck
feel
that.
about that?
Fuck them niggas.
You know how I interpret that?
Fuck them,
That's
bro.
some bitch ass shit right there.
Broke bitches like
Because
that.
what I'm gonna tell you is if you done come through the other side like we have, and you have achieved the fact that you own your own successful business, all that other remorse bullshit, no man, I came through the mud for this shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna enjoy the fruits of my labor. I don't feel bad. Now listen, people will tell you sometimes I help people more than I
GEDs.
need to.
High school diplomas.
People will tell you I help people more than I need to.
Associates.
But if you come to me, you got questions. I've had people come to me, hey, I'm about to open a food
Get
truck.
your masters.
Want to know if I can pick your brain?
Yo, I fuck with that, yo.
I will give
get
you.
people like that?
I want you to not bump your head like I did. You know what I'm saying?
You gonna bump your head, though.
But yeah, best believe you ain't getting through this thing unscathed.
Yeah.
There's sharks out here.
Mm-hmm.
There are predators out here, and they will come get you.
People that act like human beings, but they're not.
They will come get you. So be very careful, especially when you're putting your ideas out there. Get your shit trademarked.
Especially family.
Get your shit copyrighted. Because motherfuckers out here, they will steal your shit. They will steal your shit. There's a bunch of genius folks out here, and
They ain't
They
Jesus.
let their
They
ideas
witches.
go out and
They
boom,
about evilness.
stolen.
They about evilness. They manipulate and cater to your ego.
You don't
And
have
then
to
as soon as you disrespect it.
You ain't got to do it.
Buy some more. Fuck that clown shit. I know what the fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
All that gay shit. That's secondary. That's that non-kingful shit. I'm a king. I know what I'm doing.
So, like, what advice would you give to like young black business owners, or someone who's fresh out of high school wants to start a business? What steps would you give them to start that path?
Do it.
I would say.
Show 'em out there.
I would say strive to be your own boss.
Yes.
And in order to do that, you're gonna make some compromises. You're gonna cut some corners. But know that when you get in on the other side,
Cut some motherfuckers off
baby,
too.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Nobody can tell you
Nothing.
shit. You are the boss. Now, with that comes responsibility.
Gotta pay all your bills.
You gotta pay your bills, you gotta pay the tax man, you gotta do all the shit you're supposed to do. Because if you don't, they will shut your shit down. And if they shut you down the right way, you'll never open another business around here.
You gotta put your name in somebody else's name.
Is it like?
You be tarnished.
Listen,
But can't you, if you get bankrupt, or can't you start another business?
you
another name?
can, but you know, they drag your ass through the mud on the bankruptcy shit. You know, everybody know, oh, that motherfucking shit failed. You couldn't make it. You're bankrupt. You know what I mean? But anybody who's been successful has failed many, many, many times.
Yeah.
Many times. Because it's not,
I think I used to say
very rarely do
when I
you
got the
just
building,
come through
it
this
was
thing, oh, $1 million idea, boom, boom, boom. It happens. But most of us that have gotten to where we are have had to grind very hard.
Been told no many times.
Many, many times. But when you go out, I would tell people, hey man, seek out these little small businesses because they all have a story. You have to have a story
Yeah.
to live.
Have
this
your own
experience.
business and a small business.
You have to. Nobody's going to tell you everything was roses and peaches and shit. You know, nobody's going to tell you that because it's not. It's not. But the reward far outweighs the punishment that you have to go through to get to it.
Touche.
Nice, man. So what would be some words of wisdom for them young folks out there starting a business, and how they can reach out to you if they need some help and guidance?
It's not gonna come easy, and it's not gonna be given to you. It's not gonna be given to you. Don't carry it wherever you want to go, but I know that it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be given to you.
Wisdom, it's going to be hard. I mean, and without sounding depressing, it's going to be hard.
It's hard.
Listen, nothing you get in this life
Good.
is going to come to you without a little struggle. That's simple. That's life. That's life. Anybody can apply that to any area of their life. So it's going to be hard, but trust me, trust and believe. If you push through,
there's a silver lining.
the silver lining is you will own your own business. You will control your own destiny. You will control your own finances. And if you happen to hit upon some successful shit, you can set your family up for life.
You gotta go through the fire to come out like gold. Gotta go through the fire to come out like
I
gold.
couldn't have said it better myself.
Gotta come out like gold though.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Nice, man. Well, that's the show, man. I Gillie's. Appreciate you, man.
My man, Oliver Pierre Tattoo Shop. Get it. Gillie Seafood, James Island, Charleston, South Carolina.
Goose
Come on
Creek.
down.
Tattoo
Best
shop,
food.
sure.
Trust and believe. Trust and believe.